Ladies and gentlemen, patience is often misunderstood in a world that glorifies speed and instant results. Many see it as passivity or a lack of ambition. But in reality, patience is a powerful tool that separates those who react impulsively from those who act with wisdom. It is not about doing nothing. It is about knowing when to act and when to wait. True power lies in restraint, in the ability to control one's emotions and desires long enough to allow the right opportunities and people to come naturally. When we chase things desperately, we often end up making decisions out of fear, insecurity, or need for validation. This approach rarely leads to lasting success. In contrast, when we cultivate patience, we operate from a place of confidence. We trust that our efforts, character, and intentions will eventually bring the right results. This doesn't mean sitting back and hoping for things to fall into place without effort. It means putting in the work, making ourselves better, and allowing time to do its part. A person who understands the power of patience becomes magnetic. Think of the leaders, mentors, and individuals who naturally attract respect and admiration. They are rarely frantic or overly aggressive in their pursuits. Instead, they exude a quiet confidence, knowing that the right people and circumstances will come to them in due time. They understand that forcing things, whether relationships, business deals, or personal growth, often leads to suboptimal results. When we push too hard, we risk getting something that isn't meant for us or before we are truly ready to handle it. Patience also allows us to see situations clearly. When we are impatient, we make rushed decisions that often lead to regret. We settle for less because we are afraid of waiting for more. We enter relationships that don't serve us, take jobs that drain us, and make choices based on short-term gratification rather than long-term fulfillment. However, when we have patience, we give ourselves the space to evaluate our choices with clarity. We understand that if something is meant for us, it will come not through force, but through alignment. There is also an undeniable strength in walking away when the timing or situation isn't right. Many people stay in unfulfilling situations because they fear the unknown. Patience teaches us that waiting for what aligns with us is far more rewarding than holding on to what isn't working. It teaches us to trust ourselves in the process. When we operate from this mindset, we stop feeling the need to beg for attention, approval, or opportunities. We become secure in the knowledge that we are enough, and what is meant for us will recognize our value without us having to force it. The greatest things in life often take time. Mastery, deep connections, and meaningful achievements don't happen overnight. Those who understand this are willing to put in the effort without demanding immediate rewards. They invest in themselves, in their skills, and in their personal growth, knowing that the benefits will come when the time is right. Impatience, on the other hand, often leads to frustration and burnout. It causes people to give up too soon or make compromises that lead to dissatisfaction. Patience, in the end, is not about waiting passively, but about moving forward with trust. It is about knowing when to step back, when to push forward, and when to simply allow things to unfold. The most powerful people are not the ones who chase endlessly, but the ones who create something so valuable that others are naturally drawn to it. When we embrace patience, we free ourselves from desperation and embrace a life of purpose, confidence, and fulfillment. Life often unfolds in ways we cannot predict. Yet many people spend their energy trying to control every detail, forcing things to happen on their terms. The need for control stems from the fear of uncertainty, the fear of loss, and the fear that if we do not take immediate action, we will miss out on something important. But in reality, the more we try to force situations, relationships, or opportunities, the more resistance we create. There is an art to letting things unfold naturally, to allowing life to take its course without unnecessary interference. It requires trust, patience, and an understanding that what is meant for us will come in its own time. One of the greatest struggles people face is the desire to rush outcomes. Whether in personal relationships, careers, or personal growth, the impulse to speed up the process often leads to disappointment. Forcing a relationship to progress faster than it naturally would can create tension and imbalance. Trying to push a career forward before developing the necessary skills can lead to burnout and failure. Personal transformation, too, cannot be rushed. Growth takes time, and when we embrace the journey instead of obsessing over the destination, we find that things come together in ways we never could have planned. Letting things unfold does not mean being passive or doing nothing. It means knowing when to act and when to step back. It is about putting in the effort but allowing room for things to develop in their own time. A farmer does not plant seeds and then dig them up each day to check their progress. Instead, they nurture the soil, provide the necessary conditions, and trust that the seeds will grow when the time is right. The same principle applies to life. We can prepare, we can invest in ourselves, and we can take action when needed, but we must also allow space for things to happen naturally. Many times, the best opportunities and connections come when we least expect them. When we try too hard to chase after people or situations, we often push them away. It is in the moments when we are fully present, engaged in our own growth and purpose, that the right things find us. The relationships that last, the careers that flourish, and the opportunities that truly align with us come not because we force them, but because we have created an environment where they can thrive. One of the most powerful aspects of letting things unfold is learning to release attachment to specific outcomes. When we become too fixated on one particular path, we close ourselves off to other possibilities that may be even better. Life has a way of guiding us toward what we need, even if it is not what we originally planned. Sometimes what seems like a setback is actually a redirection toward something greater. When we stop resisting and start trusting, we open ourselves up to experiences and opportunities that we might have overlooked if we had been too focused on controlling everything. This approach also brings peace. When we constantly struggle to force things, we create stress and anxiety. But when we learn to trust the process, we experience a sense of calm and clarity. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves, to chase validation, or to manipulate circumstances to fit our expectations. Instead, we operate from a place of confidence and ease, knowing that what is meant for us will come, and what is not meant for us will fall away. Letting things unfold is an art that requires practice. It requires faith in ourselves and life, and in the idea that sometimes work out better than we could have imagined if we simply allow them to. It is not about giving up or being passive, but about finding the balance between action and surrender. When we master this art, we free ourselves from unnecessary struggles and allow life to surprise us in the best ways possible. Trusting the process is one of the hardest yet most rewarding mindsets to develop. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, it can feel frustrating to wait for things to happen in their own time. People often want results immediately, whether in their careers, relationships, or personal growth, but life does not always operate on our preferred schedule. Timing matters, and sometimes the very thing we are chasing is not happening because we are not ready for it yet. Instead of forcing outcomes, learning to trust the process allows us to grow, prepare, and receive what is meant for us when the time is truly right. Many people struggle with the idea that things will come when they're supposed to. They push, rush, and try to control every aspect of their lives, only to find themselves frustrated when things do not unfold as expected. However, what seems like a delay is often a necessary period of preparation. Just because something is not happening now does not mean it will never happen. It may simply mean that there is more to learn, more to experience, and more growth required before we can handle the responsibility or opportunity that awaits us. Think about the times in life when something did not work out the way you wanted, only for you to realize later that it was a blessing in disguise. Perhaps you wanted a certain job but did not get it, only to later find a better opportunity that aligned with your skills and passion. Maybe you were eager to jump into a relationship that ultimately would not have been right for you. In the moment, it is easy to feel discouraged, but looking back, we often see how things worked out exactly as they needed to. Timing is not just about what we want, it is about when we are truly prepared to handle what we desire. Rushing into things before we are ready can lead to stress, mistakes, and missed opportunities for deeper growth. Imagine an athlete trying to compete at the highest level without proper training or preparation. They may be talented, but without the necessary conditioning, they will struggle to perform at their best. The same principle applies to life. If we receive something before we are fully prepared for it, we may not be able to sustain it. Trusting the process means understanding that each stage of growth is important, and that patience allows us to develop the skills, mindset, and resilience needed for long-term success. There is also a certain peace that comes with trusting that the right things will happen at the right time. Instead of constantly worrying about when something will come, we can focus on becoming the best version of ourselves. When we shift our mindset from impatience to trust, we stop chasing and start attracting. We no longer feel desperate for things to happen immediately because we know that what is meant for us is already making its way to us. Trusting the process does not mean sitting back and waiting for life to happen. It means taking action while understanding that not everything is in our control. We do our part putting in the effort, showing up and being consistent, but we also recognize that some things take time. A tree does not grow overnight, and neither do the most meaningful aspects of life. Growth, success, and deep relationships all require patience and trust. In the end, timing is everything. What is rushed rarely lasts, and what is forced often falls apart. But when we trust that things are unfolding as they should, we allow ourselves to experience life with more joy and less stress. The journey becomes just as important as the destination, and we realize that the waiting periods are not wasted time, but essential parts of our story. Creating an attractive presence is not about seeking validation or trying to impress others. It is about developing a sense of self that naturally draws people, opportunities, and success toward you. True attraction is rooted in confidence, authenticity, and purpose. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you create a magnetic energy that influences others without force or effort. Instead of chasing, you attract. Instead of convincing, you inspire. One of the most powerful aspects of an attractive presence is confidence. People are naturally drawn to those who are secure in themselves, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that radiates self-assurance. Confidence does not come from external validation. It comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the table. When you stop seeking approval and start embracing your strengths, others will take notice. A person who moves through life with certainty and self-respect becomes someone that others want to be around, learn from, and connect with. Authenticity is another key factor. Many people spend so much time trying to fit in or be like that they lose sight of who they truly are. But real attraction is not about being what others want, it is about being real. People are drawn to authenticity because it is rare. In a world full of facades and superficiality, someone who is honest, genuine, and unapologetically themselves stands out. When you embrace your uniqueness instead of trying to conform, you become naturally captivating. Presence is also shaped by energy. Every interaction leaves an impression, whether positive or negative. Some people walk into a room and instantly change the atmosphere with their warmth, enthusiasm, or calmness. Others drain energy with negativity, neediness, or insecurity. To create an attractive presence, be mindful of the energy you bring. Positive energy does not mean being overly cheerful all the time. It means carrying a sense of peace, purpose, and emotional stability. When people feel good around you, they will want to be around you more. Another aspect of an attractive presence is passion. People who are passionate about what they do, what they believe in, and what they stand for naturally draw others toward them. Passion is contagious. When you are deeply engaged in something that excites and fulfills you, it shows in your eyes, your voice, and your actions. Whether it is a career, a hobby, or a cause, having something that fuels you gives you an inner glow that attracts like-minded individuals. Communication plays a significant role in presence as well. People with an attractive presence know how to listen as much as they speak. They make others feel heard, valued, and understood. They ask thoughtful questions, maintain eye contact, and engage in conversations with genuine curiosity. A person who makes others feel seen and appreciated will always be remembered and respected. Physical presence also matters, not in terms of beauty, but in how you carry yourself. Posture, eye contact, and body language all contribute to how people perceive you. Standing tall, speaking with clarity, and moving with intention all signal confidence and self-respect. Taking care of your appearance is not about vanity, it is about self-care and presenting yourself in a way that reflects the value you place on yourself. Ultimately, an attractive presence is built from within. It is not about pretending to be someone you are not or trying to impress others. It is about becoming the kind of person who naturally draws the right people and opportunities. When you focus on self-improvement, purpose, and authenticity, you will find that you no longer need to chase. The right people and circumstances will find their way to you effortlessly.